The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was as imposing as ever. Towering spires of polished obsidian and iridescent crystal reflected the light of a dozen distant stars. Representatives from thousands of civilizations had gathered, each species proud, each voice assertive. Yet, amid the cacophony of debate and diplomacy, one seat remained conspicuously empty: the human delegation. It had begun, as it often did, with a warning. The Council had convened to discuss Earth's expansion into interstellar territories. Humans, with their curious blend of resilience and unpredictability, had been making bold moves across nearby systems. Their ships, small, seemingly fragile but astonishingly efficient, were establishing outposts and resource hubs without asking permission. Some species whispered of rebellion, others of genius, but the Council saw only a threat. Ambassador Threx, a towering insectoid with chitinous armor, pounded a clawed hand on the crystalline table. "They disregard our treaties. They encroach upon the Sirius sectors without authorization. Their behavior is reckless. The Council must act forcefully." From across the table, Elder Lurie of the Vontari chimed in, his gelatinous form quivering with agitation. "Perhaps a demonstration of power, a warning, something that makes them understand the consequences." There was agreement, unanimous in its intent, but divided in method. But one voice that could have cautioned the Council, the voice of experience, was absent. Humanity had not arrived for this session, not by oversight, not by mistake. On Earth, in a command center hidden beneath the surface of what once was the Gobi Desert, Admiral Selena Morath stared at the Council's holographic projections. She was surrounded by a fleet of sleek vessels, humanity's pride, the Aegis-class ships, the dauntless explorers, the resolute patrols. "We've been patient for decades," she said quietly, voice steady but resolute. "They never saw us as equals. They never understood our ways. It's time they realize that humans do not negotiate when trust is broken. We leave, completely." Her orders were precise and deliberate. Over the next 72 hours, Earth's colonies disengaged from all interstellar treaties. Communications with Council-controlled sectors were severed. Humans dismantled forward bases and withdrew their ships to disenclosed coordinates in deep space. It was not an act of war, not yet. It was something far more unsettling, a strategic disappearance. Back in the Grand Hall, the Council waited in mounting impatience. Days turned into a week and still no human delegation appeared. The holoprojectors flickered with static where once Earth's ambassadors had spoken. Whispered conversations escalated to heated debates. "What is their plan?" demanded Threx, his voice rising. "Why would they not attend? Why ignore the Council?" "They have withdrawn," murmured Elder Lurie, his unease rippling through his gelatinous form. "Entire colonies vanished. Our communications have been severed. It is unprecedented. Humanity, they have left in silence." Panic began to settle over the Council like a creeping shadow. Each species attempted to probe for information. Probes returned no signals. Scanners detected nothing in human-occupied sectors. Even the Council's own intelligence networks drew blanks. It was as if the humans had dissolved into the void itself. But it was not mere disappearance that unsettled the Council. It was the realization of their own misjudgment. For decades, humans had been underestimated. Their technology was often dismissed as primitive, their diplomacy seen as chaotic. Yet the silent withdrawal revealed something far more formidable. Humans could act collectively with precision and restraint, yet their patience have limits. Elder Lurie finally spoke aloud, voice trembling with dread. "We assumed arrogance, we assumed recklessness, but in truth, we failed to recognize their capacity for foresight. They did not flee in fear, they withdrew to teach us a lesson we will never forget." Indeed, as the Council scrambled to understand, reports began filtering from the edge of known space. Human colonies, once scattered across dozens of systems, had reorganized in hidden, fortified sectors. Their fleets patrolled silently. Their scientists monitored the Council's movements. It was a quiet power, an invisible cord wrapped around the throat of the galaxy's most powerful assembly. The Council met in emergency session. Every representative, every voice was tense, defensive, ashamed. The humans had not attacked, yet the message was clear. Underestimate them and the consequences would be unimaginable. Ambassador Threx's exoskeleton rattled as he banged his claw against the table. We misjudged them entirely. They did not respond to threats. They did not negotiate under pressure. They acted in silence, and in doing so, they controlled us without a single shot fired. A low hum filled the chamber as the realization sank in. The humans had vanished from their immediate presence, yet the Council could feel their influence everywhere. Trade agreements, defense pacts, interstellar negotiations all hung in uncertainty because one species chose the quietest form of rebellion: absence. Weeks later, when the Council finally sent a delegation to re-establish contact, the humans received them not in fear, but with calm deliberation. Admiral Morath's voice resonated through the chamber, even more unnerving for its serenity. You made a grave error. You treated us as lesser beings. You assumed we would bend or break or beg. We do not. We leave when trust is broken, and we return when respect is earned. Consider this lesson learned, silently, yet unmistakably. The Council members departed, chastened and reflective. For the first time in its long history, the Assembly realized that dominance was not dictated by numbers, or by fleets, or by tradition. It was dictated by understanding, respect, and foresight. Humans had left in silence, and in doing so, they had rewritten the rules of interstellar diplomacy. The galaxy would never forget the quiet departure that spoke louder than 1,000 wars. And somewhere in the hidden sectors of space, human ships glided past distant stars, calm and vigilant. They had not sought conflict, they had not sought vengeance. They had simply reminded the galaxy of a simple truth: underestimate humanity at your own peril.